If you run a business, you know the dilemma, right? You want to go green, you want to use eco-friendly straws, but you absolutely cannot risk a bad customer experience. It's this constant battle between sustainability and satisfaction, and it often leads to that one super embarrassing moment.
Oh, you know the one. We've all seen it happen. It's that cringeworthy moment that every single cafe, bar, or restaurant owner just dreads. You serve up a perfect drink, you hand over what you think is a great sustainable straw, and then it happens.
And there it is, a complete and total failure. That simple paper straw turns into a limp, soggy, unusable mess. And look, this isn't just a tiny inconvenience. No way. It's a direct hit to your brand's reputation for quality. So yeah, this brings us right to the heart of it, the soggy straw problem. The current go-to alternative to plastic, it's actually proving to be a pretty serious liability for any business that really cares about its image. I mean, the real-world consequences here are pretty severe. We're talking about an uptick in customer complaints, those nasty online reviews, and just this general feeling that you're cutting corners on quality. This whole soggy straw syndrome thing doesn't just backfire on your green goals. That nasty, papery taste can literally ruin the amazing drink you've worked so hard to create. But what if there was a better way? What if you didn't have to choose? Well, there's a genuine breakthrough that's changing the whole game: sugarcane straws. And this solution promises to deliver on both sustainability and high performance. So, what are they exactly? Well, sugarcane straws are made from something called bagasse. It's the fibrous, pulpy stuff that's left over after juice is squeezed from sugarcane stalks. This means we're not growing plants just to make straws. We're actually taking agricultural waste and turning it into something incredibly durable and useful. And this, right here, is how you solve the soggy straw problem. So how long do they last in a drink? Get this, over 24 hours. A single sugarcane straw keeps its shape and strength for a full day. No sogginess, no collapsing, period. Now, to see why this is such a huge deal, you kind of have to look at the history. I mean, we've gone from ancient gold straws and mushy ryegrass to the very first paper straws back in 1888, and then, of course, the plastic boom. But that viral sea turtle video in 2015, it changed everything. It created this massive global demand for an alternative that actually, works. Sugarcane straws are the answer to that call, the next most logical step in this long story. So how do they really stack up against all the other options out there? Let's dive into the ultimate straw showdown. We're going to do a direct head-to-head comparison to see which one really makes the most sense for a business like yours. Okay, first up, sugarcane versus paper. And it's not even a contest. Sugarcane gives you that high resistance to getting soggy and has a totally neutral taste. Paper, it gets mushy fast, makes your drink taste like, well, paper, and it's made from freshly harvested trees. For your customer's experience and for real eco-credentials, the choice is pretty clear. All right, but what about plastic? I mean, that's the gold standard for durability, right? Well, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Sugarcane straws actually offer comparable strength and function to plastic. You get the durability your customers are used to, but, and this is a huge but, instead of taking centuries to break down into microplastics, they biodegrade in just a few months. It's the performance of plastic without the devastating planetary price tag. Let's pull back for a second and look at the whole field. This table is basically your cheat sheet. Durability, sugarcane is excellent. Sogginess, not a problem. Taste, neutral. But look at that last row, the EU ban. Notice that sugarcane is a no, it's allowed. But PHA, another type of bioplastic, is a yes, it's banned. That is a critical distinction, and we need to dig into it. And that brings us to what I call the green maze. Because making a truly sustainable choice today isn't just about having good intentions. It's about navigating some really complex regulations and learning how to spot and avoid all the greenwashing traps out there. This is the question. It's the one every single smart business owner should be asking. With so many confusing and sometimes misleading claims out there, how do you really know if the choice you're making is genuinely good for the planet? Let's just cut through all the marketing noise. A lot of so-called plant-based PLA straws sound great, but they need special industrial composting facilities that most places just don't have. Then you've got some paper and bamboo straws that have been found to contain PFAS, those nasty forever chemicals. The big advantage with sugarcane is its transparency. It's typically free of both PLA and PFS, and it's often certified for home composting.
Okay, so let's circle back to that EU ban I mentioned, because for anyone doing business in or with Europe, this is a total game changer. Under their very strict plastics directive, sugarcane is classified as a natural, unchemically modified fiber. That means it's allowed. But PHA, even though it's biodegradable, is seen as a chemically modified polymer, and because of that, it's banned. Choosing sugarcane is not just a better choice, it's a safe and compliant one.
So making the switch isn't just about fixing today's problems with soggy straws or regulations. It's really about making a smart investment in your business's sustainable future. Let's take a quick look at where this market is actually going. The opportunity here is just massive. The market for eco-friendly straws is on track to more than double in the next 10 years, growing to over $25 billion. This isn't just some passing fad. It's a huge, sustained shift in how we do business. Getting in on the right solution now puts you way ahead of the curve. As one source puts it, the shift to sustainable straws is not just a trend, it's a rapidly expanding market opportunity. And it's being pushed by two forces you just can't stop: real innovation and customers who care. Aligning your brand with that shift, that's just smart business. So in the end, it all comes down to one simple question you have to ask yourself. Right now, at this very moment, is the straw you're giving your customers a brand asset that makes them happy, or is it a brand liability that leads to complaints? With the right choice, you can make sure it's always an asset.